This presentation is going to demonstrate the use of multi-sessions in regards to the role manager and also the compression manager. Now what we'll do is we'll take a look at the compression manager first, and then once we've completed that we'll come back to the role manager and have a look at how multiple sessions work within there. So we'll firstly look at the session manager and we'll focus on BP, and the main session is set up from 0720 to 1400. So we'll go into advanced multi-sessions, and if we click there, just to note there is no template for the advanced multi-sessions. It is just one instance for the whole of Portara, so do be aware of that. Now what you do is you type in here the symbol that you are operating with. So we're in BP in the main session, we're going to be in with BP in this session, and we'll set a date to instigate the first session. We'll set up two. We'll go for CQG. We need to include the session, and we'll start that session, let's say at 1000 hours, and we'll end the session at 1200 hours. And again we'll set up another one for BP. So we've got 3 sessions in all, and we'll start this one from the February, so we can take a look at that in the data. And we'll do this one from, let's say, 11 o'clock, or we'll do an overnight one. We'll go from 2100 hours to 0300. Okay, and there's some data, and we shall save that data. Now just be aware that if you are running the British pound with a main session, you decide for some reason that you don't want to run the British pound with a main session anymore, when you save there it's going to ignore the multi-session data. So the rule is that you must be running with the main session, okay, to actually instigate any sessions in the multi-session data. Alright, you can actually exclude the sessions there but keep the data for yourself, okay, and then by having the main session included, logically it's only going to run the main session at 0720 to 1400. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll instigate those sessions again there. So we're now going to be running a main session, and because that's included it's now going to pick up on the multi-sessions, and we are going to save that file as well. Okay, next we need to roll some data using the role manager, and we want to make sure that the template that we choose, currency role settings, for this particular demonstration, which I'll show you now, is set to daily settle, which it is. In order to instigate sessions in the role manager, which we'll come back to a little bit later, we need to set custom end of session. And if you see the tutorial based on role manager sessions, that will help you further. But for this demonstration using the compression manager, we need this on daily settle. So we'll close that, and we shall run off a batch of British pound based on the all sessions data from Jan 2014 to 15. Okay, next we need to open the intraday compression manager and run a stream. So this is set to 5 minutes, it's as good as any. It's picked up the British pound with general formatting options, and we'll run that stream. And so we can remember what sessions we set. We'll open the session manager again so we can view those details. It was 0720 to 1400, and there's the multi-sessions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the data for that. There's BP 005, and if we double click on that file, and that's opened off screen. Just bear with me, and we pull that data in, and we can see here that it's 5-minute bar. It's 0720 to 1400 up until the 1st of January 2015, and we can see the closing bar is 1400 and the following bar is 0725. So all through the file that is relevant. If we stop anywhere randomly and check, there it all is, 0725 to 1400. So what we need to do now is go past the into the new year, and we shall go, and we can see there again 0725 to 1400, and on the final pass into the new year we see the same thing. And here's the change. If we look in our multi-session, it starts on the 2005. Start session is 10 and the end session is 12, so let's check that. 10:05 is the first bar, it ends at 12, so it's right, 10:05, and it follows that particular pattern all the way up to the 1st of February 2015. So let's take a look further up the stream. 28, 29. If you keep your eye on that, you can see 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock is still happening, and there's the split. And if we look now, this is an overnight session, so it starts at 2100 hours and cessates at 0300 hours the next day, and you can see there in the file it starts at 2100 hours and goes all the way to 0300 hours, and if we check the end of the file, that is true. So that concludes the demonstration of the multi-sessions as far as the compression intraday manager is concerned. Okay, so let's take a look at the role manager using the sessions, and it's a similar thing. We'll click into the role manager and we'll focus again on the British pound, and if we this time go into role template setup and choose the currency role which we've got set as its template, and what we're going to do this time is, instead of the role paradigm being based on the daily settle, we're going to have that as based on the custom end of session. Now if you don't understand that, you need to look at the setting a session in the role manager video, which it will be up with this one, so have a look in there first and then come back to this video if you don't understand this particular functionality. Okay, so I'm going to save that there, and now the role manager is ready to go, so we're going to roll that contract. Ourselves of the sessions, so we've got the main session BP and the multi-session 0720 to 1400 and the multi-sessions here. Now this time, for those people who are subscribed to full Portara, you're able to open the data that's contained in the 1-minute read-only folder. So if we just double click on that, it might take a few seconds to open. There we go. And in the same way in the role manager, which is now based on customized end of session rolling rather than off the daily settle, we can see here 0720 to 1400, and we see that is the case. This is 1-minute data, so it's going to be a little bit more to scroll through. 1359 is the last bar in there. Okay, 0720, and off it goes again, and you'll notice there that in the role manager, the 0720 bar, everything in the role manager in the actual 1-minute read-only folder is based on start of bar. It's only in the compression manager when you can choose start of bar or end of bar paradigm later on, so just be aware of that. That's why it's 0720 here and 1359 as the last bar. Okay, and if we scroll all the way to the start of 2015, and we shall check those multi-sessions are in play. So there's our last day, which ends at 1359, and then we can see our first opening gambit on the session. If we move that down slightly or across slightly, just 1 second, and I'll move that up so we can see. And we can see here that the opening bar is now at 1000 hours, and the closing bar during that period is at 1200, so we should see 1159 as our last bar. If it's there, it is, and then 10 o'clock, so off that goes. And then we'll look here at February 2015 as well. We might as well run to the end of the file, it's as good as anywhere. And if this one was an overnight, it was set from 2100 to 0300, so if we go back in the file to a date, we can see it there. It's stopping at 0259 the day before, and it picks up the first minute after that. So job's a good one, it's all working according to plan there. Okay, we'll take a look at charting now. If we go back to the notion of the compression manager intraday, the data that we created is here, the 5-minute data, and we'll select BP to chart. And there's a reason I want to go into here to show you the charting. There's the chart as they would normally appear, but if we look at the compression template, which is how we physically built this file, if we click into there, it's going to show you at the bottom here whether this is slightly different than the way it was in the old versions of Portara. And the new features now is this new main session is shown more of a horizontal profile. You can see the main session start at 0720 to 1400, and what is new is whether you're using this multi-session scenario down here, and it lists those sessions in there for you. So if you forget how you created your data, when you chart it, you can click on compression template and see how that was all made up. Okay, finally we'll look at the session manager again, the advanced multi-sessions. We'll have a look quickly in here. If you want to delete a row, you might have a load of data in here and you wish to delete something in the middle, it'll do that and remove the gap for you. Just click anywhere along the row, it doesn't matter where, and delete row, and then that's gone. Alright, now I'm not going to save that because I want the row to show you some more things. Generally that's how you do it. You can go in there and remove a date, clear date. You can go in here and you can copy and paste and do a myriad of other things. There's about 50 rows in there. If you want more space, you just add a row, and if you see the scroll bar as I'm doing that, it's just adding rows to the bottom for you. Okay, look at the help if you want more information, and just to finalize again, if these include sessions are removed, it doesn't, you might have a grid here full of data. In order to keep that data, you can include and exclude the session, but be aware, and it's written along the bottom, you must have the primary session engaged for it to pick up on the multi-sessions. Alright, so thank you very much.